Hey everyone, thanks for coming back for another segment of the MCR. Mac in his black and red flannel shirt is to my left. My name is TJ. We're in my black and red flannel shirt. We have Mr. Thirsty, who tells us he is disrobed at the time. He is on the phone line.
Wearing only a fig leaf.
Yes, a fig leaf for your imagination.
I got my onesie on.
In any event, in this segment, what I want to do is we're first going to reflect on the Canadian situation, which we have talked about in 3 or 4 prior segments about the chaos that is unfolding. I made the comment to Mac last week, and I'll say it again. I feel like we are looking at our future. When I look to Canada, when I see what's happening in Canada, I cannot help but think both sides, left and right, are taking notes. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts so far, Thirsty, on that?
Well, my thing is, to be honest with you, because there's actually been rumors that Biden's had his hand in coercing Trudeau in doing this. I think it's possibly that the upper echelon of the U.S. government is using Canada as almost like a beta trial.
You know what this could be?
What
proxy
would actually
culture
happen
war.
If we did X? Well, the thing is with Canada is not the United States. You piss off a lot of people in the United States, it's going to go a lot differently.
Yes. Well, I as we were sitting here kicking around, the thought literally just popped in my mind: a proxy culture war. You know?
Yeah, let's do it there first and see how it goes.
Yeah, see how it goes. See what could have happened, went better, or they did it this way. You know, I think both the left and right's taking notes of what's happening in Canada, and as I watch this activity and the conduct of the police, and we'll just say right now that this channel has always been pro-law enforcement, okay?
Right.
But it's getting harder, I'll tell you. It's getting harder and harder to be pro-law enforcement. If they're only doing their job and that's their job description, we're going to have problems. We're going to have problems.
Yeah, the police, I'm sure every police officer in this country has had the thought run through their head that they're going to have to make a decision at some point which side they're going to fall on. The difference between here and there is we are armed to the teeth. They are not.
And they've allowed themselves to be disarmed. I mean,
well,
when you think of Canada, you think of rugged, masculine nature type of thing. And
well, you're not going to describe Justin Trudeau in that fashion.
Yeah, but when you think of the Northern Territories and whatnot of Canada, you think of rugged.
Well, that's
manhood.
That's tough life up there. That's for sure.
But they've allowed themselves to be painted into the corner.
Yes.
You know, through their constitution and everything else.
What happens when you back an angry dog into a corner?
Well, I guess he attacks because he's already.
That's exactly what's going to end up happening. You know, they tried this peacefully. You know, they made their voices known. And you keep poking the sleeping bear, and something is bound to happen.
Even if it's only the country says, I'm not going to work for the next month. This is how we're going to break your stranglehold, is we'll stay home.
And we've mentioned this before, but I just got to keep. I'm going to have to keep saying it. You know, we are talking about a government that would allow BLM to burn cities down. And then they turn around and call us the terrorist?
Yeah, well, they're itching. And this is what my thought might be, going back to what you said about, or what Thirsty said about a trial run, so to speak. And that is, they so badly want to paint us as the terrorist and the gun-thirsty, or not gun-thirsty, but the bloodthirsty murderers with guns, and how they need to get those away from us because we're so dangerous. Maybe they would kind of like a little bit of a not-so-civil disobedience to happen so they could paint us as the killers they say we are.
Well, what scares me is with everything going on, like TJ has brought up, it's gonna come down to the point, during our campfire talks. When is the cop gonna say that's not the way it's supposed to be? So basically, all they're gonna really do is alienate the good cops from the bad cops. I have officers in my family, and I had spoken with one of my family members and asked him when he was going to run for basically the head role of his department, and he even flat out told me he doesn't want to get involved in it because it's all politics.
Yeah, that's not atypical.
When is it going to get to the point where we only have the bad cops on the streets because the good cops are going to throw their hands up and be like, "There's nothing more I can do."
Well, how long ago did we talk about New York cops bailing out and retiring at huge numbers? They're replacing them with a bunch of wokesters.
Yeah,
who will do the
a lot of them went on medical retirement due to PTSD, is what they claimed.
Well, I don't doubt probably most cops in this country have some level of PTSD, seeing the things that no human being ought to see.
Well, in Canada, as things were playing out, there were a couple police officers who, and a military, I think he was a major in the Canadian Army. They basically ruined their careers by making videos saying, and the one in particular said, only doing my job isn't going, I'm only doing my job. He said, that argument isn't going to cut it any longer. He goes, this is not your job. What you're doing is not your job. And, to say, well, my superior said I had to do this. And all these guys, there's at least two police officers and this Canadian major, that both of them have said, well, they said, I'm ruined by making this video. It turned out they in fact were ruined because they made their video, But
well, if you can be charged for calling a police station and complaining about police actions, I guess you can be ruined by a video.
Yeah,
I've literally seen videos of officers doing their final call off, resigning from their final shift.
I've seen those
because
also.
they don't want to enforce these draconian laws. It's gotten to the point of Marxism to where the brown shirts, you have to do what we tell you to do. I mean, TJ, you were in the Army. How often did you have to blindly follow orders, or did you question?
They told us that in the event, and this is where it gets borderline hypocritical, I think. They told us, like if we were in a situation, and it would occur most likely in a time of war maybe, where we were, you were going to go move into a town and take no prisoners, and you're thinking, ooh, if someone surrenders, we got to take them prisoner. And so now you're in a situation where even though you were ordered, it's not a lawful order. Okay. But I was thinking about the police here, and the argument is, well, what am I going to do? Well, you know what? What does anyone do when they look for another job? What makes being a law enforcement any different than anyone else having to look for another job? So yeah. I don't even want to hear that excuse or that argument. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. They say, if you don't like it, there's the door. Well, guess what? If you don't like it, there's the door. Oh, you're going to stay inside the door? Okay. All right. Yeah.
I would suggest that the people in this country, should something similar happen and the police behave accordingly, the bad cops, as we'll call them, we need, at the end of it, to have a Nuremberg-style trial and hold them accountable. And for crimes against the American people, they're not going to be.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Can't escape from this one. I'm saying.
I think the police are going to have to do some serious soul searching and determine who the true villains are in this society right now.
Right.
And that's all there is to it. And if you make an arbitrary decision that you're going to give someone on the left, whether it be BLM or whatever, a complete pass. In the meantime, you're going to shackle and haul off to jail a person because they said the wrong thing about what came out of D.C. or something. You know what? It ain't going to be pretty. It ain't going to be pretty. That's all I know. I keep, I don't dare speculate future events other than it's going to be ugly.
Well, the 5 people on this show will be going to the gulag. Well, I won't be because I'm not going to any boxcars or any gulags because my philosophy is live free or die. But boy, they'll be rounding people like us up.
You know what?
Because we've documented how we feel.
Yeah. That's very for certain.
So, you guys got anything closing?
I think that's it. I think I've ranted enough on this because I'm very upset with this topic.
Yeah, I could go all day, but people aren't going to stick around that long.
They aren't even going to stick around this long. So, as we like to say, be safe, watch your 6, and don't tread on me.